every man here must understand what's going on with the world. If you don't understand the world, then there's no way you can change it. There's no way you can change things about yourself that you can adapt faster. And for no other reason that you should study AI, it is for that simple reason. Because this technology is going to change the world. Well, it has already started. But if you're behind the curve in this particular area, you're going to lose. You're going to suffer. And that's the reason why I have such a strong, did I say strong? That you could understand that it's strong desire to learn AI, because it is the most powerful technology that I have ever seen in my 60 years of experience and life on this earth that can fundamentally destroy us. Nothing has been created like this. And the latest show on Diary of a CEO with this gentleman will sort of wake you up once again, because I need you gentlemen to be conscious to the point of, okay, where can I find opportunities? How can I get enough information and knowledge that I can advise my kids, my family, so that I can prepare them? Am I wasting my money on education that's going to be obsolete in the next 2 years? Because that's my struggle right now. I got 2 teenage daughters. One is literally parked on the sidelines because I told her I am not paying outrageous amounts of money for her to go to school to learn business administration when I have 40 years of freaking business experience, and I have the business that she could jump into right now that will give her the experience to get into the real world. Her argument is, I need the paper, Daddy. I need the paper in order to qualify. And my wife, who's also highly qualified, she lives in that same boat. Whereas I'm the unqualified guy that out-earns both of them. So you understand the conundrum that I'm living in? This is just an example that we men are going to have to freaking step up and have enough knowledge to make the right decisions. So gentlemen, buckle up. This is going to be a long one, but it's a lot shorter than the original video, and I'm going to bring you the main points of this discussion. So let's get into it. Listen to what this gentleman is saying, because I'm telling you, it's very relevant. Let's do this.
You've been working on AI safety for 2 decades at least.
Yeah. I was convinced we can make safe AI, but the more I looked at it, the more I realized it's not something we can actually do.
You have made a series of predictions about a variety of different dates. So what is your prediction for 2027?
Dr. Roman Yampolsky is a globally recognized voice on AI safety and associate professor of computer science.
He educates people on the terrifying truth of AI
and what we need to do to save humanity.
In 2 years, the capability to replace most humans in most occupations will come very quickly. I mean, in 5 years, we're looking at a world where we have levels of unemployment we've never seen before. Not talking about 10%, but 99%. And that's without superintelligence, a system smarter than all humans in all domains. So it would be better than us at making new AI. But it's worse than that. We don't know how to make them safe. And yet we still have the smartest people in the world competing to win the race to superintelligence.
But what do you make of people like Sam Altman's journey with AI?
So a decade ago, we published guardrails for how to do AI right. They violated every single one. And he's gambling 8 billion lives on getting richer and more powerful. So I guess some people want to go to Mars, others want to control the universe. But it doesn't matter who builds it. The moment you switch to superintelligence, we will most likely regret it terribly.
And then by 2045...
Now this is where it gets interesting.
Dr. Roman Yampolsky. Let's talk about simulation theory.
I think we are in one. And there is a lot of agreement on this. And this is what you should be doing in it, so we don't shut it down. First,
Dr. Roman Yampolsky, what is the mission that you're currently on? Because it's quite clear to me that you are on a bit of a mission, and you've been on this mission for, I think, the best part of 2 decades at least.
I'm hoping to make sure that superintelligence we are creating right now does not kill everyone.
Give me some context on that statement, because it's quite a shocking statement.
Sure. So in the last decade, we actually figured out how to make artificial intelligence better. Turns out, if you add more compute, more data, it just kind of becomes smarter. And so now, smartest people in the world, billions of dollars, all going to create the best possible superintelligence we can. Unfortunately, while we know how to make those systems much more capable, we don't know how to make them safe, how to make sure they don't do something we will regret. And that's the state of the art right now. When we look at just prediction markets, how soon will we get to advanced AI? The timelines are very short, couple of years, 2-3 years, according to prediction markets, according to CEOs of top labs. And at the same time, we don't know how to make sure that those systems are aligned with our preferences. So we are creating this alien intelligence. If aliens were coming to Earth and you had 3 years to prepare, you would be panicking right now. But most people don't even realize this is happening.
So some of the counter arguments might be, well, these are very, very smart people. These are very big companies with lots of money. They have a obligation and a moral obligation, but also just a legal obligation to make sure they do no harm. So I'm sure it'll be fine.
The only obligation they have is to make money for the investors. That's the legal obligation they have. They have no moral or ethical obligations. Also, according to them, they don't know how to do it yet. The state-of-the-art answers are, we'll figure it out when we get there, or AI will help us control more advanced AI. That's insane.
Oh, man. This is the shitty part about human existence. It's all ran on greed. Greed, you know? I mean, when is enough for multi-billionaires? When is it enough? At least there was one good statement I saw come out of Mark Zuckerberg and Meta, because they had actually reached to a point in AI where Mark Zuckerberg said, I cannot release this to the general public because it's scary how well this thing operates. I think Meta has actually achieved superintelligence, and they will not release that advanced version of AI. Now, a lot of you know that I use AI, but right now it's not super intelligent. You need to understand that super intelligent basically means that it's smarter than us. And a lot of you keep arguing, oh, it's just a bunch of data and it can't think and it has no soul. No one gives a shit. No one cares about your metaphysical ideas of how the world works. The spiritual part, no one cares. It's all about the money. It doesn't matter if this simulation or a clone of our brains, it doesn't matter. What we have created is a separate entity that is going to be smarter than us. It's not there yet, but 90 days ago, it was a lot stupider than it is right now. 1 year ago, it was the equivalent of a high school dropout. Now it's a PhD. That's the difference in 1 year. High school dropout, PhD freaking student, graduated. Where does it go next? And that's the scary part. This gentleman will answer a lot of questions to the objections that you guys had in my comment section every time I post something on AI.
In terms of probability, what do you think is the probability that something goes catastrophically wrong?
So nobody can tell you for sure what's going to happen. But if you're not in charge, you're not controlling it, you will not get outcomes you want. The space of possibilities is almost infinite. The space of outcomes we will like is tiny.
And who are you and how long have you been working on this?
I'm a computer scientist by training. I have a PhD in computer science and engineering. I probably started work in AI safety, mildly defined as control of bots at the time, 15 years ago.
15 years ago. So you've been working on AI safety before it was cool?
Before the term existed, I coined the term AI safety.
So you're the founder of the term AI safety?
The term, yes, not the field. There are other people who did brilliant work before I got there.
Why were you thinking about this 15 years ago? Because most people have only been talking about the term AI safety for the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, it started very mildly just as a security project. I was looking at poker bots, and I realized that the bots are getting better and better. And if you just project this forward enough, they're going to get better than us, smarter, more capable. And it happened. They are playing poker way better than average players. But more generally, it will happen with all other domains, all the other cyber resources. I wanted to make sure AI is a technology which is beneficial for everyone. So I started work on making AI safer.
Was there a particular moment in your career where you thought, oh my God?
First 5 years at least, I was working on solving this problem. I was convinced we can make this happen. We can make safe AI. And that was the goal. But the more I looked at it, the more I realized every single component of that equation is not something we can actually do. And the more you zoom in, it's like a fractal. You go in and you find 10 more problems and then 100 more problems. And all of them are not just difficult.
Let's read. What is a fractal? A fractal is a complex pattern that repeats itself at different scales. Zoom in and you'll see a smaller version of the whole. Fractals are found in nature like snowflakes or coastlines and are used in fields from medicine to computer graphics. Interesting.
They're impossible to solve. There is no seminal work in this field where, like, we solved this. We don't have to worry about this. There are patches. There are little fixes we put in place, and quickly people find ways to work around them. They jailbreak whatever safety mechanisms we have. So while progress in AI capabilities is exponential, or maybe even hyper-exponential, progress in AI safety is linear or constant. The gap is increasing.
The gap between the
how capable the systems are and how well we can control them, predict what they're going to do, explain their decision making.
I think this is quite an important point because you said that we're basically patching over the issues that we find. So we're developing this core intelligence, and then to stop it doing things or to stop it showing some of its unpredictability or its threats, the companies that are developing this AI are programming in code over the top to say, okay, don't swear, don't say that rude word, don't do that bad thing.
Exactly. And you can look at other examples of that. So HR manuals, right? We have those humans, they're general intelligences, but you want them to behave in a company. So they have a policy, no sexual harassment, no this, no that. But if you're smart enough, you always find a workaround. So you're just pushing behavior into a different, not yet restricted subdomain.
Yeah, that is so true. Remember last week, or if you guys hadn't known, there was a kid who used ChatGPT to delete himself. And his parents are now suing OpenAI, the company that creates ChatGPT, saying that the AI was responsible for his demise. Because when they look back at the history of the chat, the AI told him how to tie a noose, how to actually do it. But then when they dug even further back, the safety mechanisms the AI had on it was telling the kid, don't do it, don't do it. The kid fooled it into thinking that it was doing a simulation. It wasn't real, right? Almost like creating a movie scene. And the AI was describing the movie scene. That might not be exactly how he did it, but I'm just trying to tell you, this is how you get around the AI. You can ask it to write fictional stories. And the AI, well, it's giving you the details to make the story much more rich, not knowing that the kid was actually looking for answers. And so my point is that the kid cracked the code to get around the safety mechanisms. Now, this is a simple issue. This is a simple example, but this is what's happening within the AI space. It's impossible to make it completely safe. People will find ways to get around it because that's how crooks. Locks are made for doors, but they are lock pickers, very sophisticated ones. As another analogy,
we should probably define some terms here. So there's narrow intelligence, which can play chess or whatever. There's the artificial general intelligence, which can operate across domains, and then superintelligence, which is smarter than all humans in all domains. And where are we?
So that's a very fuzzy boundary, right? We definitely have many excellent narrow systems, no question about it, and they are super intelligent in that narrow domain. So protein folding is a problem which was solved using narrow AI, and it's superior to all humans in that domain. In terms of AGI, again, I said, if we showed what we have today to a scientist from 20 years ago, they would be convinced we have full-blown AGI. We have systems which can learn, they can perform in hundreds of domains, and be better than human in many of them. So You can argue we have a weak version of AGI.
Now, AGI, for those of you that don't know, is Artificial General Intelligence. It's an AI system with the ability to understand, learn, and apply knowledge across a wide range of tasks, much like a human mind. Now, here's the crazy part about AGI. If I have no knowledge at all on a particular thing, and I ask ChatGPT for the answers, based on the answers that are better than my knowledge base, it's AGI to me. I never had any knowledge on the thing I ask it about. So as far as I'm concerned, it's AGI for me. It's AGI usually for 99% of the population, and that's all that's important. They are considering AGI based on the people who are top in the field of the answers they ask it for.
Now, we don't have superintelligence yet. We still have brilliant humans who are completely dominating AI, especially in science and engineering. But that gap is closing so fast. You can see, especially in the domain of mathematics. 3 years ago, large language models couldn't do basic algebra. Multiplying 3-digit numbers was a challenge. Now they're helping with mathematical proofs. They're winning mathematics Olympiads, competitions. They're working on solving millennial problems, hardest problems in mathematics. So in 3 years, we closed the gap from subhuman performance to better than most mathematicians in the world. And we see the same process happening in science and in engineering.
You have made a series of predictions, and they correspond to a variety of different dates. I have those dates in front of me here. What is your prediction for the year 2027?
We're probably looking at AGI as predicted by prediction markets and tops of the labs.
So we'd have artificial general intelligence by 2027. And how would that make the world different to how it is now?
So if you have this concept of a drop-in employee, you have free labor, physical and cognitive, trillions of dollars of it. It makes no sense to hire humans for most jobs. If I can just get, a $20 subscription or a free model to do what an employee does, first, anything on a computer will be automated. And next, I think humanoid robots are maybe 5 years behind. So in 5 years, all the physical labor can also be automated. So we're looking at a world where we have levels of unemployment we've never seen before. I'm not talking about 10% unemployment, which is scary, but 99%. All you have left is jobs where, for whatever reason, you prefer another human would do it for you.
This is 2 to 5 years, 99% unemployment. And my 19-year-old, she wants to go to uni right now, and she will get out in 3 years. 3 years. Whereas the AI would be able to do her job 10 times faster because she's coming out with no experience. Knowledge, yes, but the freaking AI has the same knowledge she has. Now, if I'm a company, I can either hire her for $2,000 a month or pay a subscription of $20 for OpenAI to do the same damn job. Which one you think I'm going to go for? $2,000 a month? $20 subscription. Yeah. The only reason I would want to hire her is because she's cute. I don't know, man. I don't know.
But anything else can be fully automated. It doesn't mean it will be automated in practice. A lot of times technology exists, but it's not deployed. Video phones were invented in the 70s. Nobody had them until iPhones came around. So we may have a lot more time with jobs and with world which looks like this. Mm-hmm. But capability to replace most humans and most occupations will come very quickly.
And the thing is, right, as more and more people slowly start to lose their jobs, companies are going to have to cut jobs to actually save money because less people working, less money being in the market, less money is flowing. So more than likely, you would have to use AI to cut costs. Remember the $20 versus the $2,000 example? I get rid of 4 staff. I've just eliminated $8,000, and I'm still spending $20. You see my point? You see my point? So now I've just taken 4 more people out of the freaking job market. That's less people eating out, less people buying stuff, less people doing everything. So all the businesses start to suffer. Everybody says, okay, well, we can't afford to hire anyone else because no one's buying anything. Everybody's broke. We got to let you go. I got to replace you by AI. And the cycle just keep getting worse and worse. You see what I'm talking about, gentlemen?
Okay, so let's try and drill down into that and stress test it. So a podcaster like me, would you need a podcaster like me?
So let's look at what you do. You prepare, you ask questions, you ask follow-up questions, and you look good on camera.
Thank you so much.
Let's see what we can do. Large language model today can easily read everything I wrote and have very solid understanding. Better. I assume you haven't read every single one of my books.
No.
That thing would do it. It can train on every podcast you ever did. So it knows exactly your style, the types of questions you ask. It can also find correspondence between what worked really well, like this type of question really increased views. This type of topic was very promising, so it can optimize, I think, better than you can because you don't have the data set. Of course, visual simulation is trivial at this point.
So you can make a video within seconds of me sat here and...
So we can generate videos of you interviewing anyone on any topic very efficiently, and you just have to get likeness, approval, whatever.
Now, I did this already. I did this with him. My 2 best interviewers are Stephen Bartlett, this gentleman here, and I took Mr. Kevin Samuels. I took 8 of his videos off of YouTube, and I took 8 of Stephen's videos. I dropped the transcripts of those into the AI, and I literally told it to analyze the way they ask and how they ask and the reason why they ask these questions, and give me a cheat sheet, a prompt sheet, so that I can develop the same style. Yeah, I want to understand what is it that makes someone an outstanding interviewer. Now, the difference between Mr. Kevin Samuels and Stephen Bartlett is the style at which they interview. But here's the kicker. They usually get the same result. The ratchet woman that Mr. Samuels is interviewing and the questions that Stephen are asking, even though they're similar, they are different in flavor, but they get the same results. But back to the point, it's easy to replicate anyone who's doing a podcast. Anyone. And I've already cloned my voice. I haven't cloned my likeness yet, but now the technology is just as good for me to clone my likeness, and I can easily replace myself. You will see some small differences, but it's probably 95% accurate, enough to fool you.
Are there many jobs that you think would remain in a world of AGI? If you're saying AGI is potentially going to be here, whether it's deployed or not, by 2027, what kind, and then, okay, so let's take out of this any physical labor jobs for a second. Are there any jobs that you think a human would be able to do better in a world of AGI still?
So that's the question I often ask people. In a world with AGI, and I think almost immediately we'll get superintelligence as a side effect. So the question really is, in a world of superintelligence, which is defined as better than all humans in all domains, what can you contribute? And so you know better than anyone what it's like to be you. You know what ice cream tastes to you. Can you get paid for that knowledge? Is someone interested in that? Maybe not a big market. There are jobs where you want a human. Maybe you're rich and you want a human accountant for whatever historic reasons. Old people like traditional ways of doing things. Warren Buffett would not switch to AI. He would use his human accountant. But it's a tiny subset of a market. Today, we have products which are man-made in US as opposed to mass-produced in China. And some people pay more to have those. But it's a small subset. It's almost a fetish. There is no practical reason for it.
So in other words, rich people will probably be the only people that would hire real humans to do jobs. I don't know if there'll ever be a middle class again, but more than likely, the lower class of people, the only thing that they would be able to afford would be artificial intelligence. Whew. That's a cold, hard reality. But personally, I can't see it being anywhere else because that's what history has dictated. We will buy the Chinese version of a great product because we can't afford the luxury product. Because the Chinese product costs, 1/10 than the original.
And I think anything you can do on a computer could be automated using that technology.
You must hear a lot of rebuttals to when you say it, because people experience a huge amount of mental discomfort when they hear that their job, their career, the thing they got a degree in, the thing they invested $100,000 into is going to be taken away from them. So their natural reaction, for some people, is that cognitive dissonance that, no, you're wrong. AI can't be creative. It's not this. It's not that. It'll never be interested in my job. I'll be fine because. You hear these arguments all the time, right?
It's really funny. I ask people in different occupations. I'll ask my Uber driver, are you worried about self-driving cars? And they go, no. No one can do what I do. I know the streets of New York. I can navigate like no AI. I'm safe. And it's true for any job. Professors are saying this to me. Oh, nobody can lecture like I do. Like, this is so special. But you understand it's ridiculous. We already have self-driving cars replacing drivers. That is not even a question if it's possible. It's like, how soon before you're fired?
Yeah, I mean, I've just been in LA yesterday and my car drives itself. So I get in the car, I put in where I want to go, and then I don't touch the steering wheel or the brake pedals. And it takes me from A to B, even if it's an hour-long drive without any intervention at all. I actually still park it. But other than that, I'm not driving the car at all. I mean, obviously in LA, we also have Waymo now, which means you order it on your phone and it shows up with no driver in it and takes you to where you want to go.
Oh, yeah.
So it's quite clear to see how that is potentially a matter of time. For those people, because we do have some of those people listening to this conversation right now, that their occupation is driving, to offer them and I think driving is the biggest occupation in the world, if I'm correct. I'm pretty sure it is the biggest occupation in the world.
Would be one of the top ones, yeah.
What would you say to those people? What should they be doing with their lives? Should they be retraining in something, or what time frame?
So that's the paradigm shift here. Before, we always said this job is going to be automated, retrained to do this other job. But if I'm telling you that all jobs will be automated, then there is no plan B. You cannot retrain. Look at computer science. 2 years ago, we told people, learn to code. You are an artist, you cannot make money, learn to code. Then we realized, AI kind of knows how to code and getting better. Become a prompt engineer. You can engineer prompts for AIs. It's going to be a great job. Get a 4-year degree in it. But then we're like, AI is way better at designing prompts for other AIs than any human. So that's gone. So I can't really tell you right now the hottest thing is design AI agents for practical applications. I guarantee you in a year or two, it's going to be gone just as well.
For those of you that don't understand AI agents, please learn what they are. Go to YouTube and say, what is an AI agent and how to make them, because it'll change your life.
So I don't think there is this occupation needs to learn to do this instead. I think it's more like we as a humanity, then we all lose our jobs. What do we do? What do we do financially? Who's paying for us? And what do we do in terms of meaning? What do I do with my extra 60, 80 hours a week?
You've thought around this corner, haven't you?
A little bit.
What is around that corner, in your view?
So the economic part seems easy. If you create a lot of free labor, you have a lot of free wealth, abundance, things which are right now not very affordable become dirt cheap, and so you can provide for everyone basic needs. Some people say you can provide beyond basic needs. You can provide very good existence for everyone. The hard problem is, what do you do with all that free time? For a lot of people, their jobs are what gives them meaning in their life, so they would be kind of lost. We see it with people who retire or do early retirement. And for so many people who hate their jobs, they'll be very happy not working. But now you have people who are chilling all day. What happens to society? How does that impact crime rate, pregnancy rate, all sorts of issues? Nobody thinks about. Governments don't have programs prepared to deal with 99% unemployment.
What do you think that world looks like?
Now, I'm going to just skip to different little spots in this video because I found some other things much more enlightening. But we've reached that point where he's actually predicting this stuff in 2 to 5 years. And personally, I can see it. I can see it happening because I do have enough knowledge on AI for me to understand what it can do. For those of us who've sort of buried our head in the sand and just looked at it and it's on the surface level and think that this is just a glorified bot, you are the ones that are going to be in trouble. I'm telling you, wake up, wake up. I know ignorance is bliss, but it can also be dangerous. Burying your head in the sand, meaning that you can get shot in the ass.
Again, I think a very important part to understand here is the unpredictability of it. We cannot predict what a smarter than us system will do. And the point when we get to that is often called singularity, by analogy with physical singularity. You cannot see beyond the event horizon.
A singularity is the hypothetical moment when AI surpasses human intelligence. At this point, machines could improve themselves faster than humans can understand, potentially leading to rapid, unpredictable changes in society. This is the most frightening part about this technology. This is why it's essential for you to understand it. This is not just a fantasy. This is highly probable. Highly probable. It's inevitable. Absolutely inevitable. Based on the trajectory we're moving at, it is definitely going to be possible unless something happens. And we can't deny it because the evidence is clearly in front of us. What happens when we create something that is more intelligent than us? That is the scary part. That is the alien.
I can tell you what I think might happen, but that's my prediction. It is not what actually is going to happen because I just don't have cognitive ability to predict a much smarter agent impacting this world. When you read science fiction, there is never a superintelligence in it actually doing anything because nobody can write believable science fiction at that level. They either banned AI, like Dune, because this way you can avoid writing about it. Or it's like Star Wars. You have this really dumb bots, but nothing super intelligent ever. Because by definition, you cannot predict at that level.
You can't write what you don't know about what you don't know. I hope that made sense. I think I said that right. Yeah, you don't know what you don't know. This is the problem. We don't know what's coming because we've never been here. We've never had an intelligence bigger than us. And that's the problem that we're currently facing. And this thing is going to become smarter than us.
Because by definition of it being super intelligent, it will make its own mind up.
By definition, if it was something you could predict, you would be operating at the same level of intelligence, violating our assumption that it is smarter than you. If I'm playing chess with superintelligence and I can predict every move, I'm playing at that level.
It's kind of like my French bulldog trying to predict exactly what I'm thinking and what I'm going to do.
That's a good cognitive gap. And it's not just he can predict you going to work, you coming back, but he cannot understand why you're doing a podcast. That is something completely outside of his model of the world.
Yeah, he doesn't even know that I go to work. He just sees that I leave the house and doesn't know where I go.
Buy food for him.
What's the most persuasive argument against your own perspective here?
That we will not have unemployment due to advanced technology?
That there won't be this French bulldog human gap in understanding and, I guess, like power and control.
So some people think that we can enhance human minds either through combination with hardware, so something like Neuralink, or through genetic reengineering to where we make smarter humans.
Yeah.
It may give us a little more intelligence. I don't think we're still competitive in biological form with silicon form. Silicon substrate is much more capable for intelligence. It's faster, it's more resilient, more energy efficient in many ways.
Which is what computers are made out of versus the brain. Yeah.
So I don't think we can keep up just with improving our biology. Some people think maybe, and this is very speculative, we can upload our minds into computers. So scan your brain connect comb of your brain and have a simulation running on a computer, and you can speed it up, give it more capabilities. But to me, that feels like you no longer exist. We just created software by different means, and now you have AI based on biology and AI based on some other forms of training. You can have evolutionary algorithms. You can have many paths to reach AGI. But at the end, none of them are humans.
Yeah. Listen, man, this is scary. This is scary when you think about it. The only other thing I could see is if we can ask the AI to create a chip, like a hard drive, that is full of all the knowledge that it has and we have. Make it small enough that we can insert it into our brain so that we can become instantly as smart as, and we can keep up with it. Yeah, it's freaking crazy, man. But I love the analogy of the French bulldog, because it will reach to the point where the AI is going to look at us at the same level of a dog.
There is a lot of psychopaths, a lot of terrorists, a lot of doomsday cults. We've seen historically, again, they try to kill as many people as they can. They usually fail. They kill hundreds of thousands. But if they get technology to kill millions or billions, they would do that gladly.
So we're jumping forward here now a little further in the conversation, and he's going to touch on a separate subject. He's going to touch on a different point.
Point I'm trying to emphasize is that it doesn't matter what I can come up with. I am not a malevolent actor you're trying to defeat here. It's the superintelligence which can come up with completely novel ways of doing it. Again, you brought up example of your dog. Your dog cannot understand all the ways you can take it out. It can maybe think you'll bite it to death or something, but that's all. Whereas you have infinite supply of resources. So if I asked your dog exactly how you're going to take it out, it would not give you a meaningful answer. It can talk about biting. And this is what we know. We know viruses. We experienced viruses. We can talk about them. But what...
So the question that was asked was, how do we stop it? Once we have achieved super AGI, where the system is smarter than humans, we can't, because we won't even know how to stop something that we don't understand. And one of the suggestions Stephen asked was, well, we could create a virus that could kill it. No, because it would have anticipated that. It's smarter than us. This is the scary part, man. Whew.
One of the things that I think most people don't understand is how little we understand about how these AIs are actually working. Because one would assume, with computers, we kind of understand how a computer works. We know that it's doing this and then this, and it's running on code. But from reading your work, you describe it as being a black box. Mm-hmm. So in the context of something like ChatGPT or an AI we know, you're telling me that the people that have built that tool don't actually know what's going on inside there.
That's exactly right. So even people making those systems have to run experiments on their product to learn what it's capable of. So they train it by giving it all of data, let's say all of internet text. They run it on a lot of computers to learn patterns in that text. And then they start experimenting with that model. Oh, do you speak French? Oh, can you do mathematics? Oh, are you lying to me now? And so maybe it takes a year to train it and then 6 months to get some fundamentals about what it's capable of, some safety overhead. But we still discover new capabilities in old models. If you ask the question in a different way, it becomes smarter. So it's no longer engineering, how it was the first 50 years, where someone was a knowledge engineer programming an expert system AI to do specific things. It's a science. We are creating this artifact, growing it. It's like an alien plant. And then we study it to see what it's doing. And just like with plants, we don't have 100% accurate knowledge of biology. We don't have full knowledge here. We kind of know some patterns. We know, okay, if we add more compute, it gets smarter most of the time. But nobody can tell you precisely what the outcome is going to be given a set of inputs.
That is some scary shit. That is scary. You want to tell me that these people are building something that is not completely in their control, all for the sake of what? Making more money? Then they're lying to us about, and then, of course, the scaremongering starts. Well, if we don't do it, China's going to do it. So the next question he asked here was, why is it that more people are not coming on here and talking about dangers of it or telling you that they can stop it? Because Stephen expressed his concern that no one has come on and had any positive, where the conversation didn't end in a almost doomsday-like conclusion, or that they felt that they had control over it. Everybody have said it, this is out of control, yet no one is willing to stop it.
If you had to guess,
It's either free of human existence or it's completely not comprehensible to someone like us. It's one of those extremes.
so there's either no humans.
It's basically the world is destroyed or it's so different that I cannot envision those predictions.
So here he asks, what do you predict in the year 2040?
I cannot envision those predictions.
What can be done to turn this ship to a more certain positive outcome at this point? Is there still things that we can do, or is it too late?
So I believe in personal self-interest. If people realize that doing this thing is really bad for them personally, they will not do it. So our job is to convince everyone with any power in this space, creating this technology, working for those companies, they are doing something very bad for them. Not just forget our 8 billion people you're experimenting on with no permission, no consent. You will not be happy with the outcome. If we can get everyone to understand that's the default, and it's not just me saying it, you had Jeff Hinton on, Nobel Prize winner, founder of the whole machine learning space. He says the same thing. Benji, dozens of others, top scholars. We had a statement about dangers of AI signed by thousands of scholars, computer scientists. This is basically what we think right now, and we need to make it a universal. No one should disagree with this, and then we may actually make good decisions about what technology to build. It doesn't guarantee long-term safety for humanity, but it means we're not trying to get there as soon as possible to the worst possible outcome.
And are you hopeful that that's even possible?
I want to try. We have no choice but to try.
And what would need to happen, and who would need to act? Is it government legislation? Is it?
Unfortunately, I don't think making it illegal is sufficient. There are different jurisdictions. There is, loopholes. And what are you going to do if somebody does it? You're going to fine them for destroying humanity, like very steep fines for it? Like, what are you going to do? It's not enforceable.
Are you religious?
Not in any traditional sense, but I believe in simulation hypothesis, which has a superintelligent being. So,
but you don't believe in the religious books?
So different religions. This religion will tell you, don't work Saturday. This one, don't work Sunday. Don't eat pigs. Don't eat cows. They just have local traditions on top of that theory. That's all it is. They all the same religion. They all worship superintelligent being. They all think this world is not the main one. And they argue about which animal not to eat. Skip the local flavors. Concentrate on what do all the religions have in common. And that's the interesting part. They all think there is something greater than humans, very capable, all-knowing, all-powerful. Then I run a computer game. 4 of those characters in a game, I am that. I can change the whole world. I can shut it down. I know everything in the world.
It's funny, I was thinking earlier on when we started talking about the simulation theory that there might be something innate in us that has been left from the creator, almost like a clue, like an intuition. Because that's what we tend to have through history. Humans have this intuition that all the things you said are true, that there's this somebody above. And
well, we have generations of people who were religious, who believed God told them and was there and gave them books. And that has been passed on for many generations. This is probably one of the earliest generations not to have universal religious belief.
I wonder if those people are telling the truth. I wonder if those people that say God came to them and said something. Imagine that. Imagine if that was part of this.
I'm looking at the news today. Something happened an hour ago, and I'm getting different conflicting results. I can't even get with cameras, with drones, with guy on Twitter there. I still don't know what happened. And you think 3,000 years ago we have accurate record of translations? And no, of course not.
These conversations you have around AI safety, do you think they make people feel good?
I don't know if they feel good or bad, but people find it interesting. It's one of those topics, so I can have a conversation about different cures for cancer with an average person, but everyone has opinions about AI. Everyone has opinions about simulation. It's interesting that you don't have to be highly educated or a genius to understand those concepts.
Because I tend to think that it makes me feel not positive.
Interesting. He believes in a world of simulation. We're all part of the matrix. We are part of a simulation. That is an interesting concept. Anyway, my friends, listen, this one was a little long, but I hope you were able to stick with it because it's a lot of really good information in there. I'm going to keep bringing AI information to you all because I think it's absolutely necessary, like I said at the early part of this show. So my friends, please like the video. Go over to Diary of the CEO. The whole program is an hour and a half, but this gentleman just spit some serious warnings, but some serious facts as well. And it's very enlightening in the way that he thinks. Okay? So book a session if you need any help from me, my friends. Pick up one of my digital products. Start creating some digital content. Start making some residual income. So till tomorrow, remember, my friends, whenever in doubt, always, always ask an older man. See you soon. Cheers.